Hello and welcome back. I am so excited to share a very special topic with you today. This is a topic that we actually get asked about quite a bit, and it's one that I think is going to benefit so many of you, and that is how to grow your business organically through a mix of online and offline channels. So when we're talking to people who are looking to hire us or work with us in my coaching program, we often get people that are really interested in moving forward, but they simply don't feel like they have the revenue to make it happen today. And what I really want to do is, if that is you, I want to give you some very actionable, effective ideas that will allow you to start building your business online organically without investing a lot of money. You will be investing a bit more time, but these are things that can 100% grow your revenue. Doing that will give you what you need to be able to move forward in whatever direction you feel is best. So for instance, me personally, I was able to get significantly over 6 figures from organic strategies alone. And if you're not there yet, you can absolutely do it. If you are at a point where you're already doing well and you're just continuing to want to improve your marketing, grow your business, these are still amazing opportunities to do so. So what I'll be telling you is, if you are someone who already has a decent revenue and you really want to take it further, these are tasks that I would have other team members do for you. If this is something that you really need to grow your revenue so that you can invest in other things and really hit the levels that you're looking to hit, these are things that most likely you are going to need to do yourself. So these strategies are going to work for local businesses and local marketers. Some of them are going to be better for one group than others, but really all of these are amazing suggestions. If you are a marketer and something doesn't apply directly to you, this is something that could apply to your clients. So it's something I really want you to pay attention to, because a lot of times people overlook these types of strategies by feeling like they're either not going to be effective, or they're going to be spammy, or maybe they're just anxious or nervous because they don't really know much about them. But I'm going to cover some of these things in a good amount of detail, and hopefully we'll dive deeper into some of these topics moving forward. But this should be a great overview of things that you can do organically to succeed. So the very first thing that I would encourage you to do is build out your Facebook profile funnel. So what exactly does that mean? A Facebook profile funnel is essentially based on your personal Facebook profile. Okay, there are several things that you need to do when you're starting out with something like this. And number one, you really need to optimize your personal profile. That means having a very clear and positive profile photo that in some way, if possible, showcases what you do. You want to have a cover photo that also says what you do and has an actual call to action on it. If you click on someone's cover photo, it's going to pull up that photo like any other photo. There will be a description area to the right if you're on desktop, and typically that never has anything in it because people never think about it. You actually want to put the link to your next steps in that description area so that your cover photo essentially becomes this clickable call to action. What you really want to make sure though with your cover photo is that when someone is on mobile, they can still see all of the text that they need to see to know that they can take advantage of that right then and there. Your profile photo is going to cover some of that cover photo. So what we do for our students and for our clients, we have templates that are already set up to make sure that the spacing and the sizing is appropriate, but just double check on your phone before you say that this is complete, that you can see that entire thing. This is really going to help with your next steps. This is essentially something where above the fold, you want to make sure that people are able to get all the information that they need about you and convert if it's the best next step for them. The next thing you want to do is also have a very clear bio line. So it doesn't give you a ton of characters, but you want to be very concise. A great format would be, I help X with Y through Z. So it could say, I help local businesses grow their revenue through effective marketing strategies. So if somebody sees that, they're going to know exactly what I do. You also want to make sure that your best call to action or next steps link is the link that's in that link section. You can have a lot of links. Some people suggest just one. I do think that's a great idea for most people. I actually have 3. So mine is going to my call to action page for my coaching program. I have one that goes to my Facebook group because I want people to be able to join my community. And then I also have a link to the podcast because that's another great resource for my audience. I would suggest for most of you that you just choose one to keep it simple. Next, what you want to do is start to seek out groups in your local community, if you're a local business, or in the industries that you are working in if you are a marketer. Join those groups and go ahead and start engaging. So I'm going to say that everything we talk about with organic social, you want to keep in mind that you do not want to spam people, but not spamming people is not very difficult. You just need to know the right ways to do things. So the first step would be joining the right groups. Then go to the members list and start adding those people as friends. That is one strategy. You'll be able to add a certain amount of them per day. I do not suggest that when they accept, you send them a pitch message. You just want to connect with them to get them on your friends list so that they will see your content moving forward. A lot of times when someone gets a friend request from someone they don't know personally, they're going to click on their profile and look at their profile. If you've updated your profile like I suggested, if they need what you do, they're going to be able to reach out right away. The next thing that you do want to do on your profile and in the groups is post content that your ideal audience would actually care about. Be helpful, make it valuable, really give people something that would tell them that they want to be friends with you or that they really like what you have to say and they want to learn more. You could also do something called a Let's Get Connected post. You can post it in these new groups, say, hey, I'm new to the group. Here's what I do. Let's get connected. How long have you been in XYZ industry? You should be able to get a lot of responses from those things, and you're already telling them you want to connect, so go ahead and connect with them. If you do want to send them a message, just introduce yourself, say hello, tell them you're happy to connect with them and you can't wait to continue to, engage with them moving forward. I really think that there are so many people giving bad advice on how to DM people, but really this is all about being valuable. So don't be that spammy person, but you can still utilize organic social media. The next thing you want to do is go in and leave really thoughtful, helpful comments on other people's posts. You do not have to be the person that's making the post to reap the benefits. Sometimes really thoughtful comments actually get more attention. More people will click on your profile. So that's something you want to do on a regular basis. Again, this is a time versus money trade-off. You might not be spending money on these things, but you will spend time. If you don't want to spend time, have someone on your team that do this for you. But ultimately, especially with the group engagement, you want someone who actually has extensive knowledge of these things because you truthfully want to be able to provide value and show people your expertise in whatever business you have. So that is essentially the Facebook profile funnel. It starts with getting the right people on your friends list, posting content they would really enjoy that would leave basically a trail of breadcrumbs to what you do, and then also connect with them and post and engage in those groups so that you start to build your authority and you will see people reaching out to you about what you do and not the other way around. The next thing is on similar lines, but it is more cold outreach. So again, I feel that there's a very fine line with this. For B2B businesses, you are simply going to be identifying businesses you'd like to work with. I suggest recording a video and sending it to them that tells them about you, tells them how you help businesses like theirs and how you would like to work with them, and just simply get on a call to see if there's, any way that you can help each other succeed. If you are B2C, you're going to be doing a little bit less of that. It would be more of just engaging with people and offering helpful solutions so that you bring brand awareness to your company, to those consumers. It's a little bit more weird if you're just reaching out to the average consumer, in my personal opinion. The next thing is along those lines, and this again can work with B2B companies or B2C companies, and that is LinkedIn organic outreach. So same strategy as your Facebook profile funnel. You first want to go and look at your actual personal LinkedIn profile. If you haven't been using it, and even if you have, it's probably not set up to truthfully reflect what it is you do and really showcase what makes you awesome. So go in and update that headline. Okay. So if you're a B2C company, the best way to do this is to look for referral partners, not the end client. Referral partners can actually be more profitable because they're going to feed you repeat business. So these are people you're going to be working with, and essentially they'll refer you to their clients or to their leads if for whatever reason it's not a good fit for them. With those people, I would simply make LinkedIn that your entire purpose. And what I mean by that is in your subject line, say, I'm looking for partners in blank industry to help grow my XYZ business. Actually say that that is what you're looking for. You don't have to make it about the B2C side when you're on a B2B platform. That can be incredibly effective. If you are a B2B company, very similar concept. You want to say exactly what it is you do, update your content, update your profile, update your cover photo. The next step is that you really want to identify either who you would like to work with or who those ideal referral partners are. Even if you serve more than one industry, I think it's best to start by searching for those specific industries, because the message that you want to send them really should be tailored to them as much as humanly possible. And it's going to be really difficult if you're trying to lump all these different industries in one group. Even if one word of that message would be different to include what they do, it's going to make it more effective for the person that's reading to understand that you actually help someone like them. People love to know that you have helped people like them or have worked with people like them in the past. So you want to start by connecting with as many people as possible so that they will be connections. You can add a note along with that connection request, but I do not suggest that. It is very easy for those to be missed. Once people start to accept your request, you're going to go into your new connections and you're going to start sending them a very direct and straightforward message. If you want to know what not to do, go in and look at your LinkedIn inbox, and you'll probably see so many examples of that. We're not going to say, hey, I'm so excited to expand my network. Thanks for connecting. Or, hey, I see we have some connections in common. Thought it'd be a good idea to connect. That means nothing. It gives someone no reason to say anything more than, yeah, totally. I get those messages all the time. If somebody wanted to work with me, I would have no way of knowing that. What I want you to do is be very direct. So if I'm someone who's looking for a referral partner, I could say, hey, I'm looking in our area for some great businesses that work in XYZ industry to see if there's a way that we could collectively grow our business or send referrals between each other. I'd really love to get on the phone and talk about it. Is there a good time? I would do something similar if you were B2B, but really I would just come out directly and say what you do and honestly provide some type of proof of result, in all honesty. I think that life is too short to waste someone's time dancing around the issues. Go ahead and come out and say what you're looking for. That actually gives them a better opportunity to decide instead of trying to read your mind. This can be a very profitable way to grow your business, either through referral partners or by getting clients directly. There's a lot more to that system, basically checking those, sending new messages to people who don't respond, and also keeping in mind that not everyone checks their LinkedIn messages daily. So someone who doesn't respond, it doesn't mean they don't care. And you need to continue to follow up with those people, send them new pieces of valuable content, give them a reason to engage with you. You can also take the contact information of people from LinkedIn, which you can usually find in their header section, populate a spreadsheet with it, and use it as a custom audience. I do not suggest that you text someone that you just connected with on LinkedIn that does not know you, that did not ask for that does not even know what you do. I literally got one of those yesterday. Someone connected with me on LinkedIn. Then they sent me a personal email and a personal text. I'm not so much put off by the emails, but the texts are completely disrespectful in my opinion. Because no one asked for that. This is my personal cell phone. I'm trying to use my personal cell phone for personal relationships only. I don't have my clients calling my personal cell phone or texting my personal cell phone. So I definitely don't want someone doing completely cold outreach texting me. They also did not know what I did. They thought I was a remodeler. I help remodelers, so I may show up in those search results, but they clearly did not even glance at my profile. That is the surest way to turn someone off. Take the time, if you're going to send these, to actually look at someone's profile. Tie in information about their actual business or their experience or their story. That is what makes an impactful message. You can still do cold outreach in a personal way, so please keep that in mind, but it's a very profitable strategy for organic growth. The next one would be to start your own Facebook group. I don't necessarily suggest this unless you already have an extensive personal profile audience of people who would be in that niche. Otherwise, it's probably going to take too much of your time to try and grow that. And what you need to be focusing on is revenue right now. There is a great way to build a Facebook group through 5-day challenges. This is something that I teach in my coaching program. It's something that I use on a regular basis. But it does require paid ads if you want significant growth. So that's not necessarily something that would qualify as an organic growth strategy, but you can definitely do it just on that personal profile to get more people to join the group if you do have the right audience. If you don't want to grow a Facebook group, you can actually buy one, okay? One of my students, he is a local business owner. He sells horse fencing. And they obviously want to work with people who own horses. You know, anyone who owns a horse could be a good fit for them. They have small options, they have really large options. He was actually able to buy 2 Facebook groups in his niche specific to his state for like $200 or $300 from a kid in high school who grew them to a couple thousand members. Very impressive. Sometimes it just takes a little digging. That may cost a bit of money, but it is still more of an organic strategy. Once you have the group, you do need to work to establish your own credibility and deliver value so that people want to join, people want to stay, and they want to engage. That is how you're going to build that audience and then be able to lead them to what you buy. The next thing I would suggest, if you are a local business owner, bricks and mortar, is really pay attention to your signage. So I am actually someone who has extensive experience in all areas of advertising. So I've done signage, in-store signage for retail, which is a science all of its own, exterior signage, we've done TV buying, radio buying, you know, print, trade shows, all of that good stuff. So I really do have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't. First and foremost, you need to make sure that your signage is easy to see from the best way to get there. So if you're right next to a road, definitely put it there. But if a road that is kind of in front and not next to your parking lot is the one that gets the most traffic, consider putting it there or a second sign there. You also want to make it look professional, but you need to have a call to action. You need to make sure that people understand exactly what it is you do and give them a reason to stop in. Put your phone number on there if you want to take phone calls. Make that the biggest and the most bold part of your signage. You don't need to focus on your slogan. That is not going to bring you clients. You want something that will drive foot traffic or drive phone calls. I would also highly recommend networking. So I've actually been the president of my BNI group, Business Networking International is what that stands for the last 2 years. And I love networking. I'm a people person. Even though my business primarily operates online, I still am a local business owner. I still have clients in my local area, and I still love connecting with other business owners because there's so much value that they can bring, even if they're in a totally unrelated industry to yours, or if they could never be a client. I've developed relationships with so many people that I work with today. My business attorney is awesome. She's from my BNI group. The person that does my taxes, my CPA, he is in my BNI group. Lots of people that I've developed really strong friendships that have sent referrals have been from those groups. A lot of times people are very hesitant to get involved with networking if they don't really feel like they're a people person, but ultimately the best way to do it is to just treat it as it's a real relationship you're developing with someone. This isn't something where you have to go and pitch yourself all the time. You really need to get better at listening to others and to focusing on trying to help them and trying to send people their way. It does come back around to you. The more you help others, the more you show interest in the business of others, the more they're going to do the same in return. I actually highly recommend this for people who do not feel like they're great at speaking or great at selling, because it will force you to step out of your comfort zone. But most importantly, it's a very low pressure atmosphere. Everyone is there to help each other grow their businesses. There are lots of other networking groups besides BNI, but there is BNI in virtually every major city across the United States and in most countries across the world. So it's definitely something really awesome to look into. The next thing would be cold email. Cold email is something that primarily is going to work for B2B, but you could also do the same strategy for those referral partners. You can actually scrape data off the internet with a tool like D7, for example, and it's going to be able to get you business names, emails, phone numbers, addresses, whatever you're looking for. You typically would want to clean those lists if possible, because you don't want to be sending to a lot of undeliverables, but you can then send emails to those lists that you're consistently pulling. Again, I would definitely recommend focusing on specific industries so that those emails can be tailored. And you want to be direct, very similar to LinkedIn. The only other option outside of being direct and coming and saying exactly what you're looking for, and if that's the case, I would highly recommend attaching some type of image of results or proof of what you do. The other option is curiosity based. So for me personally, I don't like it quite as much because it brings leads that are a bit less qualified because they don't actually know the details of what you're looking for. But if they do respond and say they're interested, then you can call them and explain that. That works really well for some people. It's not my favorite strategy, but it's definitely effective. So just find the things that are going to work best for you. The next thing I would say is live events. So despite if we're having a lot of live events right now, or if this is in the future, these are great ways to really build your authority, your credibility, and get sales. Find others who are hosting events, or find a business that would be capable of putting on an event and say that you'll do all the content, you will deliver that for them, and speak about what you are educated on in your business, provide value, help people. This is really the same exact thing that you're doing in all of these strategies. It's being helpful, providing your expertise to those people who need it the most. And when they need what you do, they are going to reach out to you. You could also do this online. Essentially, there's a lot of virtual summits. Sometimes you just need to reach out to people and ask them if they'd be interested. And you could also host one yourself. Sometimes you do not need paid advertising to get people on these types of things. You do need some exposure. So I would say send it out to your email list. Tell them to refer as many people as possible, to forward this email. Post it on your organic social channels. You want to post it on your website. Reach out to media stations in your area. This is so important. Rarely does anyone do this. You simply want to tell them about what you're doing and see if they'd be interested. News stations like newspapers, radios, TV stations, they're consistently having to put out content. They're always looking for new content ideas, and things about local businesses or business owners in their area is definitely something that they have a high probability of wanting to talk about. Give them the opportunity to do it, because if you don't tell them about that, they are never going to know. The next thing I would say is, again, just focusing on video. That's really, really helpful. This can be done on any organic social platform, but you can also focus on something like YouTube. So YouTube is essentially a search engine. Provide videos that showcase your expertise, that do tours of your office, that answer the questions your audience is asking most frequently. And then you really want to work in your location, into that title, into that description. Make sure that you're talking about those things in the video, and that's going to help you be indexed by YouTube's search engines and drive organic traffic to that. You also want to make sure there's a call to action link in that actual description. The last one, this is number 10, and that is to really focus on review sites. Sites like Google My Business have become very important to local businesses over the last few years. And this is because when someone is searching for what you do, they are no longer seeing the organic results at the top primarily. If they're searching for a high intent keyword like buy outdoor camping gear, okay, if you're a store that sells outdoor camping gear, that's the type of person who you want to see your store, your address, your reviews, all your details, and allow them to reach out to you. Because of that, Google has added those results at the very top of the page when someone is searching in that way. So what you want to do is show up at the top. It's very similar to organic SEO in terms of what needs to be done, but you really want to figure out which keywords you're trying to rank for. You want to fill out your profile completely from start to finish. Make sure that every single section is completed to the best of your ability and that you are working in the keywords for the industry you serve, the products and services that you sell, and everything that would help your ideal client find you. The next thing is getting a lot of positive reviews. This can be done through something like a Google review campaign, which we help our clients and our students with. This can be done by simply building this request into your sales process or reaching out and asking happy customers if they'd be willing to leave one and send them the link to make it easier. Lots of ways to do it, but that has a high importance in terms of ranking well on these platforms. Add as many photos of your location, your products, and services as humanly possible. Encourage your clients to upload those photos through things like contests. And also make sure that all of your information is consistent across all of these review sites or directory sites online, because that does also play a part in your ranking. You really need to make sure that your address is written the same way every time. So if you use RD period for road, you need to use it like that every single time. You want to make sure your phone number is accurate everywhere, that your website is identified the same way every time. So if you put www.your website, do that on every site. That does definitely play into it. And finally, you can actually add posts to many of these sites. Add that into your Zapier, automation. If you're posting in other places, have it automatically post there if you can. Or simply take what you're posting and a couple of times a week, add that same type of post to your Google My Business profile or somewhere else. Make sure that you focus on the transformation. So before and after type posts work really well. Showcasing if you have some sort of special offer or promotion, also talking about new arrivals and things of that nature. So there are a lot of things you can do organically. There's definitely some things to learn about each of these, but hopefully this gives you 10 really easy ways that you can drive revenue without necessarily having to spend any money. So I really hope this was helpful. I'm so excited to be able to provide this to you. If you have any questions about this content, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks so much.